Hey, I'm Luke from TL Tennis, and this is the Head Prestige Review.
Today we reviewed the Head Prestige Pro. It is 320 grams with a balance point of 310 millimeters. It's a 98 square inch racket, and meaning it's pretty whippy. We've been wanting to play with this classic racket for a fair while, so let's go.
Hey guys, we just got off the court playing with the Head Prestige Pro for the first time after playing a couple supers. So I'm Luke, I play with a Head Gravity Pro with a leather grip, and this is Taj, he plays with a Yonex V-Core 100.
Yep, I play with Hyper G strings at 52 pounds.
And I play with Alu in the mains at 53, and in the crosses I've got a synthetic gut at 53 as well.
Alright, let's jump right into it, hey?
Let's do it.
Alright, so on my forehands, I feel like I was lacking a lot of speed and power, a lot of spin as well. It felt like super boardy and stiff, so overall I'd probably give this racket a 7, rating out of 10 on my forehand. How about you, Luke?
I reckon I'd agree with that. It's probably like a 7. I think the problem with a racket is when you kind of back off a bit on, say, like a normal groundy, you can sometimes just dump it into the net or not really get that comfort that you want, and I think it lacks that fitness you need on a forehand topspin. But I do think when you really go for it, it has a precision that doesn't match any other racket. It's just completely on another level. It's going to go exactly where you think in your mind it's going to go.
Yeah, exactly right. A very control-orientated racket.
So, onto the backhands. Taj had a very, very strong view on the backhands for the Prestige.
For my one-hander, I really didn't like the launch angle. I felt like it was super low and it was just too stiff for my one-hander. So I give it a 4 out of 10. And on the slice, I felt like it was pretty nice as well, but just not the same as my racket, so I'd give it probably a 7 on the slice.
Yeah, I had a very different view. I love this racket a little bit more because of my two-hander. I feel like with that left hand on the top, even though it's a pretty hefty racket and it's very demanding, you could really bring it through on that left hand, and you could really get that direction that you couldn't get with many other rackets. So I feel like I'd give this one a 8.5 for my two-hand, my topspin. And then for the slice, it was so addictive. Like, you have to try one of these. I feel like I'd rate this a 9. The carry through on the slice, I feel like it's really effective, goes where you want it, unmatched by any other racket.
Yeah, exactly, and it's super classic as well. Like, the feeling you get from playing with one of these is just, it's very different to any other racket, I think, so it's a really cool racket to try, just maybe not for me to play a match with.
Yeah. Alright, so going on to volleys, what do you think, Taj?
I really liked it on the volleys. I felt like I had really great touch, like almost the same as a slice would, and you can feel exactly where the racket's going on every shot, so I think volleys, it was really good for me. I'd give it probably a 9. So yeah, how about you, Luke?
Yeah, my volleys aren't as good as Taj. He's got really, really good touch. He comes to the net quite a lot and uses that as a weapon, but for me, I'd probably give it an 8 to an 8.5 on the volleys. Very manoeuvrable, definitely better than my racket of choice, but nothing killer that's going to make your game on another level. But I really do rate this racket. So on serves,
I didn't rate the serve. I feel like I was lacking a lot of power. Like, I wasn't able to get the same amount of kick I would, and it just didn't feel like the racket that I like. And you know, although it's classic and super cool to play with, I don't really like it on the serve. So I'd have to rate this probably a 6 or a 7 out of 10. And although it was lacking a lot on my serve, I think the slice serves were really good, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt really good on all slices, I think.
Yeah, really damaging. I think Ty's couple of points you guys will see, he moved me out really wide, means he gets the whole court to play with, especially on the juice court. And even, I'd say if you're playing someone with the worst backhand, you can really get that slice to come into their backhand to set you up. Or, yeah, even on kick serves, I think the direction on it was good, although it might lack that kick off the court. So personally, I'd give this one a 7.5 on the serve. I really think the direction on the serve sets you up for the point, and can really hurt your opponent in different ways to other rackets.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So those are our thoughts for the rackets and individual components of the game. How do you rate it overall as a racket?
Overall as a racket, I actually really like the cosmetic as well. It looks like a super sick racket. It like obviously handles really well, and like, although I didn't really like it on my forehands or backhands, I think for the volleys it was super cool, and it's just a really sick racket to play with. So I'd probably give it I don't know, maybe a 7 to 7.5 out of 10 for overall racket.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'd probably go 7.5 to 8 for me personally. I mean, the string pattern as well, being an 1820, is the same as my racket of choice, a Gravity Pro. So I didn't really have to adjust my forehand and groundies for that too much, so I could really gel with the racket a bit more. Although I don't think this is the racket of choice for someone who wants to sit back and just heavy topspin it, like a Rafa or a Casper Ruud or something.
Yeah, I think
really
it's someone for really good control and like good hands at the net to, you know, like attack the court and be really crafty and use their angles, I think,
Yeah, they need something that you need that power already to come with the racket. It's not giving you anything. So we played 2 supers, we'll show you guys that now. Yeah, enjoy. So that wraps up this racket review. Overall, it was a very satisfying and comfortable frame, but I think it just played a little too dead for either of us to actually switch to. That is, we found we dumped a lot of easy balls in the net, wide or long. Although it may be that our ability is not high enough for the frame. Definitely a racket for those advanced players out there.